Alright, so in this video, this is going to be a voiceover of a session I had with one of my students, just guiding him through the setup process. This is a brand new trader, brand new to option trading, and just getting him familiar with how we do it in our community with the watch list. So we have a weekly and a daily stock watch list. The daily is cleared every single day, and the weekly is made every single week, cleared every single weekend, and recreated on the weekends with our main watch list that we'll post in the community. Right now we're just exporting the file from the daily to his computer. We're going to take the file that he's about to open here and copy the tickers from the file, and what we'll do is move those tickers over into his weekly watch list so that everything is more organized there. I'm just gonna go over to the weekly section and edit the watch list, import the watch list. We will select the keyboard from the clipboard, and then we'll go ahead and add over the top of this watch list. We'll go in and edit the daily watch list, and we will just select everything. You can do a Control A or a Shift select and delete everything. Next, we will arrange our watch lists. Now, in the Discord, we have all of the settings and all of the different things that you need. Even if you just need the education part of the community, you can check out the link in the bio to learn more about how you can sign up and learn more about the different setups. Otherwise, you can just copy the settings from the screen here, pause the screen, and copy the watch list that we have set up here. Now, the purpose of having these watch lists separated, obviously, is so that you can keep your contracts separated. You're going to look at different data points for the contracts and for your open positions versus just looking at tickers that you might not have open positions on. So this is a good way to separate everything out and make sure everything's nice, clean, and organized. It's a great way to start the day with a blank watch list, so you can make sure you're getting just the focus on the best setups that we have in the mornings. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna link our stock watch lists up to the option chain underneath the trade tab. So this is gonna allow us to quickly select our equities that we want to open contracts on, and we can quickly scan around our watch list for those. And what we'll do is we'll go to the chart tab and we'll link the chart to the stock as well, so that we're trading the stock and not the actual contract on our chart. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mess with all the settings here. We're going to deselect charts, and we're going to select active trader. We're going to select level 2 data and live news so that we can compress that level 2 data. You'll see what I mean in a second here. And with this data here, we're going to be able to see all of the open orders that are being placed. So the orders that are open, and then with the time and sales data that we just opened up, that's going to allow us to see when orders are filled. Okay, and then now we've just got the active trader and that open down there. The active trader with the level 2 data and the time and sales data. And now we're going to be able to fill orders on either side of the price here. And we'll go into a little more detail in part 2 about how that all works. But in this video, we'll just kind of go through the settings menu so we can get everything set up for part 2. And here we're just adjusting the columns of the time and sales data so that it doesn't take up so much space, and getting everything just kind of situated just right. Make sure to save along the way. It's really easy to forget to save on these and just lose all of your data, and that's happened too many times to count. I've lost hours and hours and probably days of work from not saving. So it's important. Now it's important to note that there's 3 option menus, or I should say there's 3 settings menus in this. There's the cog on top next to the market orders, there's the lines underneath the cog, and then there's this small tiny little cog underneath the lines. And we'll see John click on all of those on those settings menus and go through all the settings. Make sure to pause the video and copy the settings down pretty much column for column of what we are putting in the settings menus when the time comes. Right here we're going to set the amount of contracts that are on our, when we're selecting contracts. You see that the number of contracts just changed from 10 increments to $1 or 1 contract increments. And so now it's just a little bit more, it's a little bit better for smaller accounts to have it incremented by ones. Here we're going to add the auto send on and off feature. We're going to add by bid and by ask, which you'll see in just a moment here. Getting rid of flatten, getting rid of reverse. Don't really need those. Keeping cancel. And then we're going to add the working orders indicator and the position indicator, and those are going to tell us when how much we have open on the position with the POS underneath. Join the bid there, and then to the right of join the ask we have ORD, and that stands for open orders, and that'll show red or green depending on if we have orders open. After that, here we're going to go into the settings that I referenced a little bit ago right here, and make sure that all those settings are correct. Go ahead and save. Call that chart plus active trader. Now we're going to remove any order placing instruments on the left side with that trade tab. Just making sure to save. It's a good example of saving. Not very exciting stuff. But yeah, so now the active trader is pretty much set up the way we need it to be. I do have another video about this. Should check the top right corner of the video to see the link for those videos. Those are pretty good videos as well. Those are me going through the process. This is a good video. I think part 2 will be even better because you'll actually have my voice live in that video versus me doing a voiceover on this one. Alright, so now we are just going through and looking at how we place the orders. We can now we're gonna go back to that same menu where we opened up the other panes, and we're gonna open up a detach an instrument here. So we have this set up for like a one screen setup. This is what you do for any amount of screens, I should say. But in this case, we have one screen, and so we'll have to flip between those 2 screens. But this just gives you a little more flexibility. And right here, we're gonna show how to set that up. Remember to link both these charts together and using the daily on one side and the 15-minute on the other. Just making sure to keep it consistent for your own sake. And then make sure to review part 2 of this video so you can get all of the chart settings that you need to replace the current settings that are default. That's going to be really useful. I actually made part 2 before part 1 in terms of editing, so I can tell you that it for sure has that content in it. And there you go, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just part 1. This video is definitely going to be a little bit less impactful, a little more boring then part 2. So make sure to tune in to part 2. And don't forget to save these setups, you guys. I just want to reiterate that before we part ways. But saving your setups is going to save you a ton of time and frustration. So without further ado, you guys, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next trading session. And tune into the Discord, DM me for more info. And if you guys have any questions, leave comments below. Thanks again.